The adventurers are traversing an unusual maze trying to reach a Pathfinder Society expert on the sealing and destruction of evil artifacts. One Eindo Klein. Eindo is currently located at the edge of the Finindar Forest in Iobaria, far, far to the west from Magnabar where the heroes arrived on the mainland. This journey through the maze should allow them to cross the continent in under a day, instead of the months of overland travel it would usually take. However, they were warned that unexpected portals have been opening up, and the usual navigation landmarks have been shifting. They battled their way through animated topiary and aggressive gremlins, encountered fey mushroom traps, and displaced statue puzzles, before ending up mediating between squabbling elemental factions. In many places, odd, mundane objects have been found, alongside dog-like footprints. Just after resolving the situation with the elementals, the party caught sight of a small, dog-like humanoid who made a rude gesture and began running off, which is where we will pick up. And I want to share a picture of the fleeing person here that you just saw.
Yay!
Oh yeah, like the raccoon dog, like you said.
Rude little Mohawk bear.
Yeah, panda. Oh, you think it's a raccoon? I can't tell. Looks strange. Actually, can Dezi tell what that is?
You can give me a society check. Yeah, you've heard of these. You've probably never seen one before. It's a tanuki. It's a humanoid from across the sea, far to the west of where you are. You almost never hear about them over here in Varesia and any of the lands that you're familiar with, but you have heard stories about them before. And you know they tend to be very fun-loving, party-focused, sometimes mischievous, often maybe confused for Fae. You're not sure if they actually are or not, but they have a lot in common with them.
I'd let the party know this, and given some of the stuff that's happened, I'd probably say, do you think they might have been the one that does a lot of it, that did a lot of this? It did seem we found the acorn trail and whatnot, and certainly turning the donkey head there is a mischievous thing.
It seems like that could be what we're looking for. I mean, you said they're mischievous, right? Everything seems to be laid out in some way to cause trouble.
Well, I'd say we can ask them, but I feel like he's a little rude and just ran off.
Is he the way we need to go at this point, or are we headed in the opposite direction?
He ran down the path that you're supposed to be heading.
I do think we should be going that direction, yes. It's the only guidance we have.
I'll keep your eyes open. It sounds like we're going to run into more of his trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask, can we have another look at that directions that we had?
Looks like Dezi just sent it. We just got new art in for Daegron that I wanted to share.
Oh, no, we'll see if we get the curse of the art coming back for me. It honestly looks great, though. I'm really happy with it.
And
This
so
maze has had a strange effect on you. You look so much sharper now.
So much more handsome. What happened here?
And so it sounds like you're beginning to follow after that one tanuki. He leads you on a little bit of a race. He keeps pausing to stare back, maybe throw an acorn at you, and just kind of keeps running off ahead, at times even darting through parts of the maze as if he's able to run through the hedge. And you lose sight of him, but he pops back out a little bit further ahead. No matter how hard you try to chase him, he is staying probably a good 150 feet ahead, almost at all times.
Well, he certainly seems like he'd be a good person to navigate the maze with, all that being able to go in and out of the hedges.
I thought that wasn't supposed to be possible, even. Nobody's not damaging this place.
We have a very distinct destination. Let's just stay there.
Follow the path. If we do have to deal with him, we deal with him. Otherwise, hopefully his tricks and traps won't slow us down too much.
We should be heading to a second clearing. It should have the portal, supposedly.
All right, well, I'm still keeping an eye out for any weird, mischievous raccoons.
And you arrive at the second clearing. In the large clearing ahead, the air is thick with the sounds of laughter, music, and the clinking of cups. The full moon and colorful lanterns paint the maze walls with hues of red and silver, and dozens of raccoon dog-like humanoids dance and frolic on the lawn. They cheer and applaud as performers take the stage. One of them jumps in the air, does a backflip, and as she lands on the stage, she is turned into a beautiful crane standing on one foot. Suddenly, someone in the crowd yells, "Intruders!" Looking worried, the cavorting creatures turn toward the entrance and fall silent. After a few moments of confusion, two of the furry creatures step forward, one of them gray and burly, the other short and frail. The latter one speaks up. "What brings you here to our party, my dears? Why do you look so cross?" This is who's addressing you.
Oh,
Elderly, or like elderly raccoon with a cane.
Mm-hmm. And a festive lantern.
Tanukis, right? Yeah. Are all of them Tanukis, or are there any
All of them.
other?
so
Yeah, Daegron's up front. Like, if we want to kind of go through this, he'll introduce people, and he kind of goes, we've been following this path. We have a destination through one of these portals here. It seems like you are having a great time. We don't mean to intrude. My name's Daegron." And he kind of indicates down towards Dezi. He's like, "This is my friend Dezi," towards Libbiel, and this is Libbiel. She is a wizard of some report. And then we have Vanarel here, who is, he's our resident ranger. You know, we've been running into some trouble with a Tanuki of sorts, seem to have been laying traps for us. Do you happen to know anything about that? I wouldn't want any sort of trips or traps happening here in your festivities you've got.
Who?
At least none that aren't already warranted.
Oh dear. It's been Toshiro and his friends again, hasn't it? Toshiro, show yourself at once. And that one, the one you were chasing, does step forward, surrounded by four of his friends, it looks like. They all look much younger and more juvenile compared to the one who's been speaking to you.
Oh yeah, that's him.
probably we don't actually have any proof that he did anything.
I mean, we saw him up ahead. Oh, did he? We have that flute. Is that flute his?
I pull out a flute. This
Hmm.
thing?
One of the four surrounding him. "Oh, my flute. I forgot where I dropped that."
It was left in like this stone circle thing.
"Oh, yes. All the pretty stones and flashing lights. It was the perfect stage to do a performance on. I felt like everyone was surrounding me and oh, it was so fun."
It seemed to upset whatever power was there because it started attacking with some roots. I think
That's not fun. That's
we were able to get to the center, and that's where we found this flute.
How would the audience watch me if they're being attacked by roots?
I have no idea.
Sense motive to see if they're being honest about this.
Sure. Yeah.
Libbiel honestly has no idea.
Yeah, you think she's being honest.
Well, and we also found. I'm not sure. Oh, did one of you change the head on a statue to a donkey?
"Oh, he was scary. No, I don't like him." One of the other ones speaks up. I
There
was
also
waving
this.
incense around and I looked up at that giant lizard head and I thought it was going to eat me. So I hit it with my incense burner and wished it would change, and it did. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it was a bit of a landmark to find our way through this place, so it made it slightly harder.
And is this yours? Dezi pulls out the silver incense box with the dragon in the front.
The silver incense box would have been the one that the person who talked about changing the lizardmen was talking about. You also have a different ornate box you found in the topiary. Is that the one you're talking about, or which one were you talking about right now?
The one that we found near the statues, which is
Yes.
the one with the worm-like dragon on it.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, I guess we should return this to you. I don't know. So these aren't our mazes, but the people that gave us passage here, it seems like some of your things you've done here have made it a lot more difficult for travelers, and we want to keep these paths clear.
Oh.
Yes, especially though whoever might have made like this shrine thing in the center of a buttload of crossroads, it kind of attracted some kind of fairy creature.
Oh, we
That
just
might have
wanted
been
to
them.
we just wanted to lead them away from us. Those creatures were nasty. We don't want them around.
Yeah, we don't really want them around the main thoroughfare either. Like our
All those
directions
ones
are
have been
very
dealt with.
yeah, our directions are very specific, and she's going to pull out the directions and be like, "You see, this is how we've kind of encountered all the things we've seen."
We apologize if our presence has caused any inconvenience. It is simply our nature to have fun and poke at things and see how they react. but we assure you we mean no harm.
I think as long as after your festival clears up, if everything goes back to normal, or at least you list the changes that might have occurred somewhere, because the Pathfinder Society does need these roots. Actually, I think they're willing to bargain and barter. That sounds something like they would do. They don't have the time to scout this place very often.
I think we should have a contest to decide who gets to decide these things. And all the ones behind are like, yes, yes, a contest, a contest. And she goes on, and there's only one way, and that way is a dance off. And the other ones around all start choking and like, wait, a dance off? I thought you were going to say trial by combat. Oh, either way, we'll let them decide. What do you want?
Dezi's
Like-
eyes get excited when they thought it might be like a contest, a battle of wits, and then they say dance off, and Dezi's like, oh,
The light leaves Libby's eyes for both options. That's a little too much movement for me.
I'm better at fighting, but I enjoy both.
Sorry, the options are
Dance
trial
off?
by combat or dancing.
Yes.
Yes. I can
mean,
do dancing.
non-lethal combat, right?
Oh, of course. Anyone knocked out, the spectators will pull out and heal. But once you're out, you're out.
I can actually somewhat do dancing. I don't really want to hurt you people.
Dezi is not a dancer, so it's up to everybody else. But
We're going to force Libby to dance.
I mean, honestly, these are the first people we've come across that haven't had something blow up in our faces or try to take our kneecaps out or anything like that.
It's just say yes, because
Path
Yeah.
of least resistance.
dancing does sound less bashy. Libby, could you lay
But-
down and beat with that bullhorn?
If we need to win and none of us are good at it, I agree. I'm not looking forward to pummeling them.
I actually don't have the bullhorn with me.
Oh, I thought you had a spell that really made your voice loud.
No, I put that away. I got something else, and I have no other horn on my possession.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't realize.
The strangers have spoken. Mimico beams and continues. A dancing contest shall decide who is right. The Tanuki crowd starts chanting, dance off, and clapping their hands and drumming their bellies, creating a beat to dance to. And at this point, the bard troublemaker, the one whose flute you found, explains the rules. It's going to be 5 rounds, and each round, one of you has to dance. One of you gets to go twice. It cannot be back-to-back rounds. And each round will have a different dance.
Okay.
Sure hope we have an athletics dance.
And she will tell you, I guess we will tell you the order of the dances. We'll start off with a mysterious dance meant to appear trance-like and intricate and try to convey hidden meanings through your dance. The second one will be a warrior's dance. The third one will be a courtly, stately dance. Fourth one, acrobatic. And the fifth one, whatever you feel like.
I
Well,
think I'll take the first dance then.
All right, that sounds good. The third,
Yeah,
might
I can
be
take the
more
first.
sense for me.
And Mochi says she will be competing in the final round, and some of her friends will be doing the earlier rounds, and she's a little worried that they're going to be able to do a good showing. But, so what order do you want to go in? Maybe just arrange yourself, top down on the map here. Whoever's in doing the mysterious dance, top, and then just come down one at a time so I can tell who's doing what. And let me know who's doing the 5th round.
That
Sure. And who will be doing the viewer's choice?
Libby?
Might sound really, really weird, but why don't we all do it?
I will allow that. We'll see what happens when we get there.
I think
Yeah, let's see
A
how it
group.
plays out.
a group dance would be kind of fun.
In that case, Mochi says she'll get all her friends to come on as well for the final one. So, in round 1 of the mysterious dance, it starts off with Susie, who I believe was the one who caused the problems with the Eruxi that you saw. She starts doing a very stylized dance that looks like it might be calling the spring or something. weaving her way up as if she's grass growing out of the ground and like buds coming out of trees. It's very odd. Hard to tell exactly if she's dancing or just moving around kind of haphazardly. But the other Tanuki are cheering her on and everyone's having a good time. Might be they're more laughing at her than anything else, but that's how that one went. How is Libbiel's mysterious dance?
I think Libbiel is going to try to channel her patron the best she can. She's going to use patron's puppet to have Bia be like possessed by the inscribed one, and she's going to do kind of like a follow the lead with her patron through Bia.
And what type of check
So
would you like to use to represent that?
my patron is an Arcanus
Sure.
patron, so I think I use an Arcana check for that. Channel with them, make some flashy effects. Darn, I should have rolled that
No,
mysteriously.
this can have been, this is fine to be public. So what
Oh.
does a critical success look like for this?
I think she's possessed. I think she gets possessed by her patron, and inscriptions go down and up for all of her skin, and she dances like an oracle seeing the future
Give
in
me
strange poses.
a perception check.
Okay, this one's secret, or
That's fine to be public. It's nice to let the viewers see some more dice sometimes.
yeah, okay.
You briefly saw some words flash on Bia that you think was trying to give you a hint of something else, but you were not able to catch it in time before they faded.
Can I re-roll that with my
Sure.
my hero point?
Yes, you may.
I don't know if I want to take a 2 on that. 21.
Yes, you see the words molten dawn silver.
Molten Dawn Silver. I'll keep that in mind.
And as you walk off, the other Tanuki are definitely cheering you on. You see some of them trying to copy what you were doing. Some of them are trying to like make their whoever's next to them do the same kind of puppetry, and they're not having much success. You know, they don't have that mystical connection. They're actually using their hands to push people around rather than having it just kind of happen at a distance. But you can tell that you've impressed them with this. Up next, we have Daegron and the warrior dance. And out comes Tonta, who is doing a very much martial arts kata style thing, leaping and shouting. A little bit of breakdancing built in there occasionally, but much more just strikes, stomps, and jumps. He's doing a pretty good job. He does look a little nervous. He keeps looking over at Libbiel, just how impressive her performance was. You can tell he's sweating, trying to do a good job here. What does Daegron's look like?
Daegron steps up, sinks his axe into the ground, and kind of takes off a few of his heavier pieces of armor. And as he kind of prepares here, I'm going to roll first just so I can give you an accurate description of how this works. Hey, we're going to re-roll that because nat ones aren't what we want to start the night with. We can go to a 2. There we go.
That will be a fail, you know. So
yeah. So he steps forward and he says, he's like, well, I didn't get too far around the world, but I did meet a fellow from Sarkava, and he did something like this, and he does his best, almost in representation of. I would imagine it's almost a mix between like a haka war dance, but he's kind of flubbing it a bit. He doesn't have the coordination and the kind of history behind it that the others who have done this. I'd say it's a middling representation, not the worst that anyone's ever seen, but certainly nothing great.
And as you step off, the 4 troublemakers are patting Tonta on the back, knowing that he pulled off the victory on that round. Up next is the courtly dance, and Daniki, the ranger type, is out there performing an owlbear courtship dance with lots of flapping of arms and walking around and some squawking and some screeching. It looks like the other Tanuki are thinking Daniki is missing the mark on this one to even start with. Yes, it's a courtship dance, but it feels a little off. And you feel that this might be one of your chances to come back, Dezi. What are you doing?
I think Dezi would draw upon some of the religious Desnan dances that his mother Sindra taught him, and try to kind of do some of her dancing in the various styles that she would know from kind of all the lands she had seen. I feel like this would either be a religion or a society for me.
I'd take either of
So
those, whichever you want. You know that's going to be a success. Do you want to add any more flavor to what that feels or looks like to you?
yeah, so I feel like it starts off as a bit of a free form dances from around the world, but then kind of slowly goes into a more casual, natural spin that would be more his mother's style, because she was a bit of a wanderer who liked to journey and kind of was her own inventive spirit.
And as you leave the dance floor, you do see a lot of pairs of Tanuki that are furtively glancing at each other, then looking away, blushing. Up next, Kagabashi walks into the ring and seems to pull up wind from the ground and is thrown into the air, where she begins what can only be described as an aerial ballet, being buffeted about by the wind, sometimes forcefully, sometimes gently, and just is flowing through the wind. And once again, this one feels like she's done a great job to start with. Everyone looks very happy and are kind of, you can see they're staring at Vanarel, wondering how you're going to top this.
General, did you want a platform to perform on?
I didn't think we could use a giant boost of air to help us. That's a really good idea. I don't know. I think I got this. I got this. Veneral will make a bit of an entrance onto the dance floor here, just dropping the hammers behind. He is a bit of an athletic, acrobatic kind of fella, just being out in the forest and needing to be light on his feet and such. And I think he starts with some some I guess light like dance moves, a little bit of kind of like like quick like spins and flips. But the body he's still getting used to sort of takes over, and he starts getting very like low to the ground and very like a little slinky and snaky, and kind of like staying real low, kind of like trying to almost like to slither and like dodge around other people on the dance floor. But still very acrobatic overall.
Okay. I can take an acrobatics for that then.
19 for a 25.
Oof, very good. Somehow that still beats the magic-infused air dance. And you do see a lot of the Tanuki now pretending to be snakes on the ground and making a complete mess of their fur and the grass and mostly getting laughed at. They're nowhere near as good at that as you were. And we go into the final round. I believe you're already winning 3-1, but you do have to do the final round. And this one, Toshiro is taking the lead. That was the one who was causing all the problems. And he's doing all kinds of kind of parkour type activities off the backs or under the legs of his friends and swinging some of them around. It's a very physical dance. Very much also kind of some pratfalls here and there, a lot like any form of kind of circus clowning is what he's been doing. And again, everyone's laughing and cheering on. It seems like even if he loses, it feels like he's had a good time, and so have all the other Tanuki. What is your group ensemble number?
Okay, Team Huddle, what are we going to do here? Do we want to do like maybe a synchronized boy band type thing, or?
I think I have a plan if you want to let me lead this one.
You all did great. I'll follow your leads.
Sure. Can you tell me what generally the plan is so I kind of know what to do?
Mostly we're going to just ask them to show us one of their dances. We're winning, so might as well just make connections. Yeah?
That's
a
not
good
bad.
idea.
So I'm going to She breaks off the huddle and turns around. It's like, well, in a spirit of cooperation, why don't we just participate in one of your group dances as our last dance?
Give
And I'm
me
going to hold out a hand for them.
give me a diplomacy check on that.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be a diplomacy. We'll do this one private or blind.
Mimiko shakes her head. I like the intent, but this is still a dance-off, and the spectators cannot be involved.
Oh, okay. He's going to look at the others and then, well, if the spectators aren't involved, perhaps we should use something more. Well, she takes a minute to think. We do have dances from Osprey we could try.
Did we want like a nice big finale with like a glittering burst above us?
If you want.
I can
Yeah.
do that.
Can't hurt.
I imagine we must have some dances from Osprey that maybe have to do with different seasons or events that happen. Maybe we can pick something like that.
Gosh, I wish I had any kind of illusion magic.
That sounds good
Uh,
to me. Um,
There's, I'm not really sure what they might have, but in this terms of a lot of communities have some sort of harvest festival. I imagine as maybe a seaside thing, they have some sort of uh, similar thing to do with the bounty of the sea kind of deal. So maybe we can do a dance of something like that.
For that, I would
yes.
take a nature or a society from whoever wants to be the lead. Only one of you needs to roll.
I'm out on that.
I mean, I'm happy to do the nature. Though Libby could probably also do the society, I'm guessing, maybe? I don't know.
I got a 10 in society.
I got a 10 in nature, so yeah, that's fine.
I think nature sounds more like it.
Okay. I'll roll it.
I already had my chance. I flopped it.
You do. You know that's going to be a fail.
Well, okay, we'll add this to it, but I'm probably going to re. Just for the above us, for the sparkles.
Sure. With the sparkles, that was off by 1. I will turn that to a success. So
fair enough. I was willing to burn a hero point, but I figured I'd mention that.
So you've won 4 out of the 5. Only the one round with the, which was it?
That was the
Have
warrior
fun.
dance.
Just the warrior dance. The other 4, you've definitely won, and Mimiko addresses you all and says, "You have proven yourselves worthy friends to us. We will do our best to keep our younglings in check, and our own mischievous impulses within our own clearing here. You may have others it sounds like you are here on behalf of, and any deeper negotiation would have to happen with the powers who have that control. But we will keep our disturbances as localized as we can."
I'm sure they'd appreciate that. Also, your youngling's ability to navigate this maze, it's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah. I think it's I think we won't ask you to completely stay in here because like I guess
We weren't saying
I
we'd stay
understand
here.
this.
We just said we'd keep our pranks to within our clearing.
Yeah, I just I know it's against your nature to stick around too long. So um, instead, I would just like to ask that perhaps again, getting in contact with the society would be a good idea.
Yes, we can try that. It's always good to make new
Oh,
friends.
yeah, fostering trade and seeing, if we can barter some kind of deal.
Won't you stay for our party? You're now one of us.
I'm gonna look at the rest of everyone else. I kind of really just want to get back to the road, but I won't override everybody else's decision.
I mean, it does feel like we're right next to where we need to get out. I think probably would be this is obviously out of earshot. It'd probably be polite to stay, but I don't know. What do you think?
We can always have a drink or two and then sneak out the
Well,
back when no one's looking.
Yeah, you can stick around for a little while just to be polite.
we can be honest with them. Just say we can't commit to a long time, but we can stick around for a moment.
Yeah,
And
that works.
there's a lot of cheering. They're coming, each of you seems to have gathered a couple of who seem to be looking up to you for the dance or how you held yourself, whatever. They pull you a little bit here and there to get different food or drink, and they're asking you all questions about why is your hair that way? What's your clothes made out of? The questions you can tell are just anything and everything they can think of, and it's a little overwhelming probably to many of you. How are you reacting to that kind of situation?
I guess Libby is just like her social battery gets run out really fast, and eventually she just pretends to be drunk just so then they leave her alone. She passes out, quote unquote, on the table.
Is he scrambling to answer all their questions and probably doesn't realize he's getting a little overwhelmed and just kind of firing off answers left and right very quickly to try to keep up with the stream of questions.
Yeah, I think for Daegron, hasn't had a moment of. We haven't had a real moment of levity in quite a while. I think he's enjoying himself quite a bit, having drinks. And he sees kind of Libbiel passing out, quote unquote, on the table, and he calls, Libbiel, you don't want to fall asleep at a party, not with tricksters like these around. And like you can already see maybe there's some kind of creeping closer.
Yeah, I think Vanarel is just happy to again kind of have like that moment of lightness, and also just to try to make a few extra friends here. I mean, you never know when we're gonna be coming back through this weird maze that takes us across the world when we needed to, if we needed to again.
And Daegron,
So
you've
Libby
got an
instead
extra hero point.
decides
Oh,
to
thank you.
go stay with Daegron. You volunteered. You talked to me, which means you will protect me.
Oh, sure. Just hang around behind, nurse that drink. They won't even notice.
Uh-huh.
So maybe a good 30, 40 minutes goes by. You're all having a great time when you've decided you've stayed probably long enough and enjoyed the party, and you're ready to be on your way. And as you head out the far side, too much cheering and calls to come back soon, and they'll be waiting with more fun. Up ahead, just as that path changes the corner, you see a triplet of portals ahead of you where you expected to see one. The rightmost has a very hazy border, as if it's either opening or collapsing. It's not anchored with any physical form. Through it, you see the bustle of a city amid immense trees with very broad leaves. The center one has a pristine, almost glowing stonework and shows a very steady, well-defined portal. Through it, you see an almost endless plain with scattered clumps of green trees. Centaurs are chasing after animals in obvious high spirits. The leftmost one is surrounded by what looks like a crumbling stone archway and shows a sprawling camp of small and large tents covering a large hill overlooking a blood-red forest.
Well, I think that left one's our thing, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Yeah,
I'm
Desi
gonna check
will
the
not go through the portals, but just kind of look into each one of them for maybe 30 seconds to figure out what's going on or where they might be.
Sure.
I'm gonna take out the directions that we got. Did any of these describe the portal?
I believe Libya. I believe it's the camp in the red forest.
The red pine
It
trees.
probably is, but I don't want to have to walk across the continent if it's the wrong one.
Yeah, we were told that it was a camp in the woods, so that seems most likely. It was newly founded, so I doubt they'd have time to build up a whole city. And it clearly wasn't centaurs in a plane.
I can take checks if you want on each of the locations. It does
Yeah, for
feel
sure.
it does feel like society is probably most appropriate for the first one. Society could work for the third, for the leftmost one, and nature probably works on all of them for learning a little bit about what you see.
Desi will you can
Yeah.
take those in order.
Okay.
Just going to cast this on myself real quick.
So Dezi, on the first one, the plants in trees in that look very unusual to you. These trees are bigger than anything you've seen, and the leaves are very, very broad, almost like the size of a house each. You feel like you've heard of rainforests. Maybe this is a rainforest? It doesn't feel quite right there. Something about even the scale of the trees feels wrong to you. And you mostly see elves walking between, with an occasional sign of someone with antenna. Thinking the second one looks a fair bit like where you think you're supposed to be going, other than the absence of the tents and the pines. You know the edge of the Fynundar forest is a grassy area. You know centaurs do live there. Something about it still seems slightly off to you, but it looks very possible. Like if the portal has shifted a little bit, this could be the right exit, in your opinion. And then on the last one, you're not sure. Looking at all the details, you know you were headed to a tent city of some kind. You know it was supposed to be this blood red forest, but something about it feels a little bit wrong to you as well, and you're not sure what's setting off your alarm bells.
Society worked on how many of them?
Society could work on the first and third.
I'm going to roll that twice then.
Yeah, you can tell that the first one is definitely some ancient elven city. Looking at the details, you think it is millennia old.
I don't think it's the first one.
The way the trees have grown, the buildings are around the trees, you can tell like parts of the trees have grown to encompass the buildings rather than the buildings encompassing the trees. So this is an ancient settlement of some kind. And with your check on the third one, you can tell, I mean, the tents, the smaller tents that you see set up match the ones that, Sheila gave you to have some extra camp supplies. So you feel that this does look like a Pathfinder encampment.
Those are at the very least Pathfinder Society tents, so third one, maybe?
Feels like
Sure,
the
I
right
might have
one.
been wrong. I thought it looked different, but I guess so. But Vanarel, do you have a better idea?
I mean, I could take a look at the ones that make the most sense to me. I'll give it a shot with the ones that apply to nature, which I believe you said were all three.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case there.
You are not sure about the first one. You agree it's a rainforest of some kind. It looks unusual to you. Things are growing larger than you're used to seeing them grow, but you're not sure what that means. The second one, you're seeing bits and pieces about it that you can tell actually those centaurs are larger than they should be. There's a sense of scale to them as well. All the grass looks perfect and slightly glowing to your eyes, as do the scattered clumps of green trees. This feels like it might be the first world, or it might be Elysium in your mind. This looks like it is not Galarian. You're pretty sure of that. And then the final one, you do recognize the trees. You know those are the Bruosivis. These are the famous blood red pine trees of the Fynundar forest.
Okay, yeah, the portal with the tents. That's where we need to go, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that one leads to the same planet we're supposed to be on,
Where do you
pointing
think
at
it
the
is?
centaurs. That looks like it might be part of the first world. Maybe
Well,
Elysium?
let's avoid those two, the Elven settlement
Hmm.
and the possible first world. Let's just get over to our blood red trees.
I'd agree. We might want to remember this is here, though, because didn't we need an ingredient from Elysium for the purification? Not that we should do
I
that
would,
now, but
I would like to maybe ask them to use this later, but like it's going to be a bit of a journey to get any of the pieces that we need.
agree. Let's go.
Make a note and come back later. Yeah.
As we think it does, we should be able to just come back through, and they should be right here if we need them.
Hopefully.
As you step through the leftmost portal, you quickly lose the slight floral scent in the cool temperatures of the maze, and are struck by the heat and dust-filled air of the camp. Two well-armed guards watching the gate react with a start. Oi, you. Hands where I can see 'em. Name and
Pull
lodge
out the scroll
affiliation.
and hold it up. Sorry.
What was that, Dezi?
Pull out the scroll and hold it up. That we were told to hold up as we go through the portal. So we're coming from Hardmark Manor. We were told to give you this. As I'm holding up the scroll.
And as he was watching you, his hands were moving, making some unusual gestures, but you don't notice any magical aura forming. The other guard with him takes the scroll, looks it over. It's okay. They are who they said. They are sent by Sheila. They need to talk to Eindo. Let me flag someone down to lead you over there. Camp's in a little bit of an uproar. A minute or two comes by. He manages to flag down a small halfling carrying a crossbow who is going to lead you over to the main camp.
Oh, hi. I like your crossbow.
Oh, yes. It's served me well. Oh, you
There's
have one
been
too.
trouble.
Yes, I'm a follower of the Deliberate Journey. We use crossbows. They're used a lot on the road. What's your name?
Melinda.
Oh, yeah? Melinda who?
Oh,
Or just Melinda?
I don't like giving my last name to people I just met.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Hopefully you, what's going on at camp? They seem to say, something was up.
Well, I'm not supposed to tell you. I've heard the four of you aren't Pathfinders. You're here as guests. I don't know what I'm allowed to tell you. I'll save that for Eindo when you see him. But, it's been a little crazy here. You picked an awfully interesting time to visit. And she will lead you to one of the larger kind of pavilion tents, not one of the small 2 or 4 person kind of pup tent style places. And she gestures for you to enter. And inside, you see a man. Let me get a picture for you here. A kind of dark-haired, not closely cut, but, mid-length hair, wearing leather armor, a little bit of, maybe similar to Daegron with like some shoulder pads over the leather armor set. He stands in his pavilion tent, running a hand through his beard and looking at a sketched map of a city on the table. At first, it looks normal. But then you notice some indications of scale, and you realize it's a city for very large creatures, larger than you've seen. Wooden markers and twine indicate areas of interest, some possible threats. He looks up, his brow furrowed in thought. Ah, Pat. Oh, sorry, old habits die hard. Welcome, guests. You caught us at a very, very bad time. But not your fault, not Sheila's. She hadn't heard. Our mission here has changed and become much more critical. Just after I handed over local command to, well, you don't need to know whom, a demonic figure appeared and abducted our leader. We're now in a bit of an uproar, trying to find out who, what, and how. We need to do further research to understand what may have caused this. We need to know the history of Coloran, a nation that once thrived here, far from the Golgon Empire in Garand. My faction members have been going around the city inventorying sites of interest. We have begun excavating a couple of locations, most of which have various fire mosaics at their surface. But that's beside the
Golgon
point.
Empire?
Yes, the Golgon Empire. Thousands of years old Cyclops Empire here. Or, Golgon was back in Garin, sorry. Coloran looks like it was an offshoot empire that was in this location.
So not demons. That's good.
Not demons, though something stirred up a demon, it appears.
Oh no.
Okay, and they took your leader.
Yes,
And you think something that you triggered here caused that to happen?
we don't know. It seems plausible. It didn't happen anywhere else, but at the same time, we haven't found anything that would explain why. With me here leading the effort, we have been very careful on no one's opening horribly looking locked chests, no one's breaking down sealed doors. We're going very careful and just investigating everything.
Nothing out of the ordinary's happened. Are you aware that through the portal into the hedge, there's two more side by side?
No. That's the first we've heard of it. The last group of agents came through 6 hours ago. They didn't report anything of that nature.
Well, just as some forewarning, I'm not sure if you've dealt with them yet, but you may run into a group of Tanuki who have set up on the other side in one of the clearings. They don't seem harmful, but they had laid a few tricks and traps and general, trickery they get up to. We dealt with it, but as we arrived here, we saw that there was 3 portals instead of 1. I can't speak too much on the matter, but my companions here had a better look through and understood, I think, more than I could about what was there. Dezi, Vanarel, what was that again?
Yes, there was one that looked like it was some sort of rainforest. This might be tangential to what's going on here, but one did look like a giant rainforest with elves and insect creatures in it. It was very strange. And when I say giant, I mean like really big trees and leaves.
And he calls for someone outside the tent, and in comes in someone who is dressed like a seer of some kind. You see all kinds of weird odds and ends, some crystal ornaments, some like what looks like beaded glass braided throughout the hair, an astrolabe at their side, all kinds of weird odds and ends, a weird like dowsing rod. And she listens to all these things you're describing and says, "Did you see any insectoid people?"
Oh yes, insects and elves.
Oh, you said
yeah,
antenna
and I see-
before. Were those antenna
Oh.
on humans or antennas on insects?
I think they were
Antenna on
insects.
humanoid.
Well, humanoid
Antenna on-
insects, yeah.
Well, I'm not sure, having not seen it myself, but that sounds like Castrovel, the next planet toward the sun from us.
Oh,
It's a good thing you didn't walk through there.
Oh yeah, and Vanarel, what did you see?
Well, I'll describe the scene in the field with the giant centaurs that were frolicking about. I'm pretty sure that was the first world.
That
The
would
new
be
portals are
very
popping up.
useful. I have to go. And I know, no, you're staying here. You're not going to the first world. We have more important difficulties. And she's, but, the first world, we can go there. And
It's either that or Elysium, which means you'd probably get,
oh,
vaporized.
that'd be even better. Oh, Elysium would be wonderful. Oh, so much. Oh, that would be perfect. Indo is like, no, we have another crisis first. Do I need to put a guard on you? And she eventually settles down. But you can tell you've lit a spark underneath this lady.
Oh, but you said there were some fire runes and some sites that you wanted us to take a look at here. We have a task for you, but maybe that's discussed better when things have settled down a bit.
Oh, I hadn't even asked you to look at the site yet, but that... Do you think... All I was told is you have an item that you need help sealing, understanding, destroying, something of that nature. Sheila was very vague in the details.
Well, before I pull the thing out, make sure the only people who can see it are ones you trust. She gives the glance at the oracle lady.
Yes. Oh, yes, please, you can leave the tent now. Please don't go through the portal. And then he closes the flaps of the tent, so it's just the four of you and him in here right now. I
Libby,
trust that is better?
Yes, are we sure that the whatever popped up isn't here to see this? The demon or devil?
I mean, it's already leaking its aura, so big deal. I think I'm gonna just pull it out.
He stares at it.
I'd imagine they'd be able to sense it, even if it was in a pack. That thing, even when you get close to it, something else.
Yeah, I'm probably stained by this thing now.
So, what a rusted horn. What is special about this?
Ah, I was kind of hoping you would recognize things about it right away, and I wouldn't have to explain. Well, okay. It's a demon lord's horn made into a horn that you blow, and it seems to have some kind of relation to disease and rust.
You familiar with Tsar Azmak?
I know I've seen the name, but I think this is the first I've heard of any interaction on our world. Tsar Azmak
Yeah,
died
well,
centuries ago, and I've
they
not
were
even heard of
trying to
cultists.
they were trying to revive him, so yeah, they were using this horn in the ritual. We want it the hell off our island, and I am trying to make sure it just gets destroyed so it doesn't come back. But, you know, uh, kind of hoping to have some help with that.
And
And
the bigger problem is demons seem to be popping up around it. If you can see, I'm pointing to like the bubbling water inside the container and the melting holy symbols. This is containing it, but I don't think it's going to hold.
you say
Yeah.
demons come for it. What do they look like?
Kind of like
S-
ants.
Envy Sin Spawn, was it?
No, I don't think that's what it was. I think those were from
The
New
cultists?
Thassalon, but it's and we'll explain it. I believe you guys even figured out what it was called, correct? It was
Yes, I do have the name of it, but I can't really pull that up.
yeah, I
I
was
think it
looking
was
if
like
I had it written down.
Valoriac, I believe was the name.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And when you describe them and that, he actually looks a little disappointed. Sounds unrelated to our problems here. The demon we
Oh,
saw was a amorphous black shadow with a red glowing orb filling a hood.
well, I mean, at one
We didn't
hand,
see
it's
that guy.
maybe good that it isn't connected to this horn. Either way, we still need to deal with this. So, if this creature has stolen away your leader. We can help as we can.
I do have a work in progress, a sealing chest. It's not ready yet, and it's been backburnered while we solve the problem here. But this is a prime experimental object to test it on once it's ready. I think it would take me a number of weeks, though, still to finish it. In the meantime, you've had some experience with demons, it sounds like. Do you think you can help out here?
Sure. I'm sure whatever expertise we have or experience, we could try to see what matches up.
You know, I don't want to brag, but we were the demon experts on our island of 100. So
Yeah, by experts means we ran into them, like, in one instance. Yes.
The Indo smiles. It's like, first-hand experience counts, and even more important to know how little you've already learned. I trust you more than those who've said they are complete experts. He points to a location on the map. A team has been making good progress widening the entrance here for easy access. But they discovered a number of bones in a neighboring room, some quite fresh. These ruins are clearly not as abandoned as they first appeared to be. I'd like you to go to the site, thoroughly explore the ruins, clear them out of any difficulties, and report back with anything you discover. If you get in over your head, please come back. Your lives are more important than our understanding of what's happening here. Also, Cyclops is obviously a fairly obscure language, and it has changed some since the days of Coloron. So I have a book here with a couple of the phrases, a little bit of translation help. Hopefully it can help if you find any words, any labels down below.
I guess I'll take that.
ooh, Cyclops knowledge. That sounds interesting. Okay, that sounds good. You say you found bones down there? Is it a bigger complex that you've dug into, do you think?
It seems like that. At ground level, it was simply two what felt like small rooms for Cyclopses, big rooms for us. Maybe 20 by 20 foot pair of rooms, and the first of which has only been partially cleared of the rubble, but there is a impressive mosaic on the floor there. And the room behind had the stairwell leading down. The building itself was made of thick slabs of stone, some carvings, but mostly those had been worn away from time, and we can't tell any iconography on the building itself. We have seen other buildings like these. They all seem to have led to more elaborate underground complexes.
Do we have to set out right away, or do we have a night to rest before we go explore?
Oh, feel free to rest tonight. We're in a hurry, but not in a hurry that would cause death, and ill-prepared adventure would never be what we push here.
I also don't know what time of day it is at this point, given our travel through the maze and all that. So,
Given your travel through the maze, it only took you maybe about 3 hours in there, maybe 4 for this journey. It does look like it's close to nightfall here. You have gone probably about 6 time zone equivalents across the world.
We have portal lag.
this is how you do the Adventurer's Day. You just continually travel east. Okay, well, if it's night here, we should probably get rested and be ready for the morning to head out, rather than trying to venture into this complex at night. I would guess.
Personally, I would like to change my spells for exploration with the sighted demons myself.
If you're setting out tomorrow, let me ask Melinda here to show you. He opens the flap back up to call in Melinda to be a guide. Can you bring them to Dana and JC? They will be investigating the site they've been cleaning. And unless you have no further questions for Eindo, he kind of nods and gets back to kind of tutting and rumphing over trying to figure out how to use the resources he has to solve this problem.
I don't think I have any questions. Anybody else?
No, I think I get the idea here. Explore the runes.
And so you're led over to a pair of what looks like very obviously younger Pathfinders, maybe about the same age apparently as some of you, who are sharing notes back and forth about the building they just found and how excited they are to have found it. And when Melinda mentions to them that you will be accompanying them in the morning, they kind of jump up and want to shake all your hands, and they introduce themselves 2 or 3 times. Yes, it's the building's boring, but the mosaic is so pretty. And can you imagine how these tiny little, and they're making like gestures like 1 centimeter size like stones, a mosaic that small made by creatures that huge. It's amazing, and it's kept its color over the years.
What's it a picture of? Tell me all about it.
Oh, it's something. I think it's very stylized, but it shows giant curling flames washing over a coal and being turned aside by a shield, behind which stands a triumphant giant.
Does sound very interesting.
Is there a knowledge check tied to this that we can attempt?
You can try any skill you want. You'll get different information on it. Let's see, we're also an hour in. Time to award a hero point. We got 1 for Daegron already. I'll give 1 to Libbiel, who's also used 1.
Worth it for the crit dance.
The crit dance.
With the religion check, you think something about this, it does feel like it is some kind of ritual or superstition, and you think it's meant to be very symbolic. You don't think any of the things you're seeing there are exactly what were described. Libbiel's looking at this and, agreeing with all that from a more arcana side. You can't make out what you think the coal is. That seems really out of place to you. But you think something about this is implying it's definitely protection or triumph of this shield over fire, but nothing about it says like cold, or even the shield looks a little odd to you. It's a very dark shield. It's not consuming, it's not sucking in the fire, but it is kind of disappearing around it. It is flowing around it some, but it looks like it's maybe slightly further away, like there's some sort of interference at a distance going on.
What a strange mural. It has a lot of hints at things, but I don't think we have enough information to go off of.
Doesn't mean too much to me
Agreed.
looking at it.
I think we probably want to see it.
Do you know if it has a magical aura around it, or?
We didn't see any. It probably would have had to have had some kind of protection magic to last this long, or maybe just the big stones outside the buildings what kept it safe all these years, and very few people were walking across it to wear it down. I would have thought it would have been magically protected, but it doesn't seem to be.
It could also just be a very dirty material.
And Eindo has asked you to look inside in the bones issue?
Yes, I think we're being asked to take care of whatever's creating the bones issue.
Oh, that's great. We wanted to go deeper, but we've not been through combat training yet. We're just here on like our field study, learning how to document and take notes and diagram, and it's so much fun, but when we saw the bones, we got a little worried.
Yeah, and those were just bones on the ground, right? They weren't bones walking around.
Oh, if it was bones walking around, I think that would have been scarier. We've heard about skeletons, but we haven't seen them yet. No, there's a staircase leading down into this bigger room. The staircase was partially blocked, but when we got a few of the rocks cleared away, we could look inside, and we saw bones. They looked relatively fresh. There was, like, stuff still on them.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have to take a look at those.
Oh, we're so happy. We want to look at what's inside, so yeah, if you clear it out, we can go on drawing pictures and trying to figure out what the mosaic means.
Well, I hope we can help.
And so the night will pass. You can re-prepare your spells as you want, and we can head over to the next location. Anything else you need to do before that?
I don't think anything for me. I just prepare my
Think
spell
so.
axe. I prepare it every day.
And I think, Vanarel, I think you need to put drained back up one, because I know it's doing it incorrectly by letting it go down every day. So
Oh, you just go down by one. All right.
it should not. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
but the
So it's a
There.
week.
it's a week for each
It's
of.
a week of this.
Yep.
Well, by the time we get the box, you'll be better, Vanarel.
I hope so. I'm starting to feel I'm getting used to all of this, but don't
Is
feel
there any
like myself.
magical aid that could do something about this?
I truly don't know.
Again, I prepare axe. I do not know the intricacies of spellcraft.
So in the morning, you have arrived at this building, and you're looking at the mosaic now. And with those rolls before, now that you're seeing it, the one thing that's coming to your mind, the flames to you feel like it's meant to symbolize the sun.
And the giant was blocking these flames. Trying to remember the exact depiction that you mentioned.
There was the fire washing over a coal, being blocked by a shield, and then the giant is behind the shield, standing triumphantly.
They blocked out the sun?
Potentially, or flames from the sun. I mean, there's plenty of deities that represent the sun. So, I
True.
guess I didn't really think it was religious, so.
Maybe it just means it goes down far beyond the light of the sun.
I mean, that's like below a foot of ground, Daegron. It's not that
True.
hard to black out the sun.
Very deep.
Dezi chuckles a little bit.
Okay, I've signed my spells. I hope they help.
So
I did a bit of swapping with my preparation. So,
a damaged stone stairway leads downward. The steps are high, clearly made for something much larger than the average human. The room at the bottom is dark, and a musty smell hangs in the air. One section of the room contains numerous shelves and barrels, with a channel 15 foot below the main room holding crates. The entire room is littered with pieces of clay, loose stones, and scattered bones. What would you like to do?
Daegron and Vanarel, you want to lead the way, and we'll follow just behind?
Yep. Does everybody just want to double check what their exploration is too, just so we are clear on what's going on there?
I see Daegron is defending.
Deep perceiving. I forgot. I know there's a place you can set it. I need to find that.
If you go to the
I'm going
Actions
to
tab
do-
of your character, there's an Exploration tab in the middle of that tab.
I'm gonna do research on this specific deity that we saw, the one that's got the sun. there.
Sure. Vanarel scouting.
Try to figure out what I can about him.
And so what do you want to do in this room?
Okay, I'll move forward. We have light on people in here?
Looks like you do, because I think otherwise you wouldn't see
Yeah.
anything, I think. Let me double check.
I have dark vision, so I'll see it. So I didn't know if it was the same for everybody else.
Well, let me hit the transition to
We
darkness
have-
button and see what happens. Oh, maybe
no-
not. Maybe
okay,
no
yeah.
one has light on right now.
We had a light source that we got somewhere, right? Like a floaty bit.
We have an
I believe it
Everlight
was
crystal.
glowing gem,
Yeah.
which is the equivalent of the Everlight crystal of the ever burning torches.
You might need to still drag a light effect onto whoever wants it, though.
Yeah, Vanarel, you want to grab that?
I'll just drag light onto you, Vanarel.
Oh. It shows as being worn on my character.
Also, I'm going
Yeah.
to cast this. It doesn't let me do that from the daily preparations. Basically, if we get separated, you can at least find Libby by calling out her name.
Yeah, and
Good to know.
Vanarel, I'll let you two lead the way because you also have the light source. I'll be following me behind you then.
And so the two of you in front, you do see what looks like a crab in the middle of the room a little bit ahead of you. And you see barrels all over the place.
Can I
Crabs
tell
out
what
here.
those crabs are?
Okay.
You can give me a nature roll on that if you want.
Daegron kind of hangs back a second as Vanarel steps forward to do a check on these two.
Both of you recognize these as what looks like the shells of crabs. You don't actually see the crab here.
Oh,
Do the
those
crabs leave their
Okay.
shells?
look empty or hollowed out? I'm not sure.
Yeah. They can molt.
What happens when they molt?
They become soft and squishy and have to grow
Oh.
a new shell.
Keep our eyes open for any
Yeah.
bigger crabs.
It's their way of getting bigger, but that just means that these are.
And we need to pause right there as a piece of rope on the ground tries to wrap around Daegron's leg. And we are in initiative.
I'm a pro trap finder.
Yep, there's one
Yeah.
right there.
I do have a 10-foot pole if you want to like pull it out in front of you.
So
Catch
go
these
ahead.
traps.
Go ahead and roll yourself in. And I will now hide the two shells. Up first is the one who is making the attack roll on Daegron. You see it start reeling in some of this filament that's coming out of its mouth. And it has hit you. You are grabbed.
Yep.
It had a 30 to hit, and you are now grabbed, and it's going to spend 2 actions trying to pull you closer to it. 31's a critical success. It can pull you 30 on a critical. That last roll is going to be a claw attack because it has pulled you next to it in 1 round.
Oh no.
But it will miss. You see it perched up on top of some other barrels, and it's kind of trying to pull you off the ground. You're not off the ground yet because it's only 5 feet up, but you are feeling like you're losing touch with the ground just a little bit. And you're kind of swinging below it as its mandibles are clicking at you and trying to bite into you. Dezi.
Daegron, don't go running off like that. I'll head up towards Daegron, probably next to that barrel there. And gonna see what I can see. Can I see something right there on the ceiling?
Yes, you can
Weird.
see that one, it looks like. Just barely.
Yeah, I want to know what this is, I guess, first off, because these are clearly not the crabs we just saw.
Your earlier
So-
roll was good enough that I will let you
Okay.
know these are cave fissures. Now that you actually see how it's fighting and the body inside of it.
And are they some sort of animal, I'm guessing?
Yes,
or...
you know it's an animal.
Okay.
You can get one piece of information about him. What would you like to know?
Sure, let's do resistances and weaknesses, I guess.
They have no special immunities, weaknesses, or resistances.
Okay, that's fine. Well, then I will just take a single shot at it with my crossbow.
25 will hit.
And that is... Oh, good. 14 damage to it.
Nice.
And then I think I'm going to cast a shield because I'm not sure if there's more of these.
I think that was 3 actions. Move. Oh, no, it's right. The recall I gave you to
Yeah,
for
you
3.
say-
Yep, that's
Why,
fine.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, and shield. Libbiel.
Okay, Libbiel's going to move up to see if we can get a better look at these things. Can she have a line of sight on that one, or?
From where you are, it's getting difficult. I'm going to give it some cover, but you can see it.
Okay,
Give it standard
being
cover.
really, really brave, she's going to take another step forward.
Oh, in that case,
her
I'll
move
change the cover.
speed is a lot further than everybody else's, so this is within her range. Okay. And with her other two actions, a live wire, an electric bee sting coming right at it.
That will hit it. The 29 against AC. For 4 points of damage, which it takes all of. And one of them is up next. It's the other one that had a filament out, curled around the shell that Dezi is standing next to still. So one of them is going to try to grab you, Dezi. That is a hit. You are now grabbed as well. And it's going to try to pull you. It fails, so it tries a second time. An 18 against your Fortitude DC. It then gets a success with a 28, so it can pull you 15 feet, and it's pulled you to there. That was its turn.
Hey, Daegron.
And the one that
No
you
worries.
can't see is up next. And I guess it's going to have to climb around the walls some. So, Dezi, you and Vanarel both see one scurrying across the ceiling. I think it will stop there. And it will then, so it's climbing on the ceiling. It is going to spit out its filament at Vanarel. And hits. Vanarel is now grabbed.
got
19
me
against
too.
AC, exactly on the nose, it looks like. And it
Yep.
will then try pulling you in, and it pulls you 15 feet. And this one is also up on the ceiling. That's them. Daegron, you're up right next
Hey.
to one of these. You're feeling like you're about to lose contact with the ground as it's, but you're still standing there, and it's trying to bite your head.
Okay, so starting off as Daegron starts here, as he starts feeling his little pulled up, he's going to let out a roar in its face and attempt to demoralize it before you see he starts like pushing against this filament on him. So we'll do this to start. 22?
And you do have Intimidating Glare.
Yes.
Okay, that is a success. It is frightened 1.
Okay, and then he's going to attempt an athletics check to try to escape from this for a 28.
Yes, that will escape. You are no longer grabbed. You fall back to the ground. It's only like 6 inches or so, so you're not actually having to fall, or you're not falling prone, taking any damage. You are no longer grabbed.
Okay, yeah, with a roar, he kind of like flexes and rips himself free of this, and then as he does, he swings the axe up towards the ceiling. It's within reach, right? Like 5 feet
This
up.
one was, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be not at, it'll be at second map because of his escape attempt here. 16 to hit, so that'll miss.
That will miss. And that was your turn. Vanarel.
All right. Well, I am wrapped up in a weird filament thing, so strangely enough, to get close to it, I have to still break out of it. So that's going to have to be step 1. I will try to tear this filament off of me, just using an athletics to rip it free.
That
Only coming out
fails
with a
to rip it
15, though.
free. You are still
right.
grabbed by this thing.
All right. Well, got to do it again because I can't get closer to it. My brain just
That's
turned
one
off.
thing. That is different rules on this one. You can get closer to this while grabbed.
Oh, okay. So I'm not immobilized.
You
So I
this
can.
is just yeah, you're never immobilized. You're only just grabbed. I know that's a little bit different, but it does let you, if you move toward it, it will shorten its thread. So you're basically giving it, free retraction of its filament.
Okay. Well, then I would love to get closer to it.
Okay. Remember, this one is 20 feet up on the ceiling.
Oh, right. Then back to plan A, I think, because I can't reach that far. I will continue to try and break myself out of this here. Unfortunately, now I'm on map here, so let me. Is this going to apply the map normally? No, it will not.
So -5.
Well, 18 doesn't feel that much better.
18 does not escape. You have 1 action left.
Going to be to try and break myself free. I'm stuck.
You are stuck. That would actually, you are now immobilized. That was a critical fail there. At the end of round 1, 2 party members are grabbed by these cave fishers' filaments and are being pulled toward their mouths. Daegron has broken free, and Libbiel is the one who is unaffected so far by these creatures. We will come back to round 2 in 5 minutes after our mid-session break.